Okay, yes, for sure. In order to remember this a little more, what is a clause? A clause is a sentence that can have a full meaning or a complementary meaning. When we mention a clause, it's because we recognize these elements. We recognize a subject, we recognize a verb, and sometimes, or most of the time, we can also recognize a complement. That means, in my sentence, the sweaty children play in the local park. What is the subject of this sentence?
The children. The sweaty children.
The children have a specific characteristic. What is the characteristic that they have?
Sweaty.
Exactly. So the sweaty children can be rephrased. The children who are all sweaty
Play
in the local park, for sure. What is the complementary information in the original sentence? In this one.
In the local park. In the park.
In the local park, exactly. So we're talking about a park. The park has a characteristic, it's local. So this information can be rephrased as the sweaty children play in the park where they usually go. This is a way to say local because if it is local, they go there. It's easy for them to get to that place. This is just an option. We have more. Another example can be the blue car is Alan's. What is the subject in here?
The subject is car.
The car.
Yeah, it's the car. Or no?
The car, and the car has a characteristic. It's blue. The blue car. What do you think? How are you?
Hello, teacher.
We say the blue car. How can you rephrase this as we did in the previous example?
Okay, the blue car and
So we say the car.
the car which blue?
Okay, is exactly.
Is blue.
The car that is blue
Which
is Alan. We can say that or we can say which because we're talking about an object. It can be both, that or which. Great. What do you think? If we say the blue car is Alan's, how can we use Alan's in a clause? What comes to your mind?
For example, the blue car is Alan's, which he bought yesterday, for example.
Yes, exactly. That could be an option. Would you use any other relative pronoun?
the car that is blue is. I have a really problem with rephrase.
Well, don't worry. Let me help you with this one. We can say the blue car is Alan's. And if I want to use whose, I would say whose father gave him the money for it. It's still something similar as I talk about the money. So it's still related to the same original sentence. Now, the respected doctor cured their terrible cancer. So what's the subject in here?
The doctor.
The doctor.
And what are we saying about the doctor?
The doctor
Is
is respected.
So how can you rephrase this, including a clause?
The doctor who is respected cured their terrible cancer.
Perfect, exactly. That's something that we can say. For me, in my example, I would say the doctor whose opinion is highly recognized cured their terrible cancer. Let's try with the complementary information. How can you rephrase their terrible cancer? So we're talking about the cancer. The cancer has a characteristic, and we also see over their possession.
Okay, my grandmother who's
Well, we don't need to say another person. We can keep the same information.
the same subject. Yeah.
But you just need to rephrase this exactly. This is the piece of information that you need to rephrase.
Okay. The doctor.
The respected doctor cured.
The respected doctor cured.
What are we talking about?
Like disease.
The cancer. So the respected doctor cured their cancer. And what are we saying about the cancer?
Of the person. Maybe.
What is the characteristic or what was the characteristic of that cancer?
Terrible.
So the respected doctor cured their cancer.
Terrible.
Which. Which. And then which is the subject, then the verb, and then the complementary information. Terrible. Which, we need something in the middle. Was, because we're talking about the past, for sure. So we can say the respected doctor cured their cancer, which was terrible. As you can see, the characteristic terrible, which is an adjective, now is a clause. It's a clause because we have subject, verb, and then again, a complementary information. Subject, verb, and complementary information. This is a clause. That is the reason in this unit we are studying clauses, because this is a clause. All of this is a clause. That's the thing, or the exercise that we're going to have now. Let's just study like this. The man is angry. I know that the man is the subject, is the verb, angry is the complementary information. Sometimes we have an adjective, noun phrases with premodifiers. If I say, the tall and chubby man is angry, if we rephrase this is,
The man who is tall and chubby is angry.
exactly, just like that. The adjective is now part of the clause. Let's try with an adjective phrase. Those are nouns phrases with postmodifiers. The man of the company is angry. So if we rephrase this is, what can you imagine?
The man which is in the company, who is in the company is angry.
Who works?
Exactly. If we have the man of the company, what is the relation of that man with the company? Well, it's a labor relation. So the man who works for the company, using who because it's a man. So the man who works for the company is angry. Let's use a prepositional phrase, noun phrases with postmodifiers. The man at the door is angry. How can you rephrase this one?
The man who is
The man who is
is
where?
who is at the door is
Mhm.
angry.
Yes, exactly. The man who is at the door is angry. Let's use a past participle. Noun phrases with premodifiers. The mustached man is angry.
The man who has a mustache or who has.
Sí, sí,
No,
who has. Mhm.
mustache, who has a mustache is angry.
Exactly, yes, that is an option. There's no problem with your sentence. Another option, because in here we have plenty of options, we can
Yeah.
say, the man who is mustached is angry.
Ah,
Is a second option. Is a
Ah.
second of or out of more options. All right. We're going to discuss now present or past participle, noun phrases with postmodifiers as an adjective clause. So shouting. Shouting is a present participle because you have ing. So the man shouting outside is angry. How can you rephrase this one?
The man who is shouting outside is angry.
Perfect, just like that. You have now hired. This is past participle. The man hired last week is angry. How can you rephrase this one?
The man who is hired.
who was.
It's past participle, right? So you need to use past instead of present.
Okay. The man who was hired last week is angry.
Exactly, perfect, just like that. We need to use the past because the past participle acts as a reduced form of passive voice. Was hired. So you simply
Was
say hired. That is the thing that we're gonna go now. You might remember that in this topic, we also had reduced clauses. Do you remember the reduced clauses? Do you remember when we use reduced clauses?
When you are talking about subject in present, you can say or reduce which or who or that, and you change the verb for ing form.
Exactly. Basically, you use gerunds for sure. So if we say, anyone who wants to take the exam late and needs to talk to me, how can you reduce this one?
Anyone wanting to take the exam late needs to talk with me, to talk to me.
Exactly, perfect. You have students who are waiting to enter the lecture hall should wait more. How can you reduce this one?
Reduce. Students wanting to enter the lecture hall should wait more.
Would it be wanting or waiting?
Waiting, sorry.
Waiting.
Waiting.
Yes, exactly, waiting. Students waiting to enter the lecture hall should wait more. Here we have a sentence similar to the sentence that you practiced a couple of seconds ago. Do we have present or do we have past?
Past.
Okay, so how can you reduce this example, this sentence?
Assignments submit last month will be returned in April.
Okay, the structure is okay. In the pronunciation, we say assignments.
Assignment.
Assignments submitted.
Submitted.
Assignment submitted last
Assignment
month
submitted.
will be returned in April. This one.
The actors sing. I don't know. Maybe
Yes,
the
in.
actors sing on the
Mhm.
video you are watching now aren't professionals.
Yes. What do we do in this one?
And your teacher, how do you say this word? And you?
Anyone.
Anyone,
Mhm.
sorry. Anyone, wait,
Not
no. Anyone isn't wait in line, please take a seat.
Okay, because you just need to reduce the clause. For sure, you need to use the ing. There's no problem in here. But if you want to reduce, you delete the relative pronoun, you delete the auxiliary, and then you keep the negative.
anyone not waiting in the line. Please
That
take
would
a
be negative like this, exactly. You simply say not waiting. Anyone not waiting in line, please take a seat. Mhm. Well, this is in order to remember that one. Tell me this one, please.
I have to reduce that.
Yes, exactly. Previously, we were just practicing. Now I'm gonna evaluate if you understood.
Okay. At one school in the US, students skipping classes aren't punished.
Aren't punished.
Punished.
All right, please continue.
A Canadian school banned hard balls because of a parent hit by a bolt.
So if we use the verb hit, is this regular or irregular? No, it's irregular.
Oh my God. So hit,
You
hit,
keep
hit.
it that way.
Yeah.
For sure, exactly, just like that. Help me with this.
Many students who, okay, no, many students
In
in
Japan.
Have to wear uniforms.
Exactly. Help me with this one, please.
In Sweden, students being aged 10, 15 can use their phones in class.
So would it be students being aged?
Being.
Being. Why being?
The verb is be.
Be is the auxiliary.
Okay. I don't know if the verb aged is the same.
Yes, because age is the past participle.
Okay.
This is passive voice, basically. So you just need to say in Sweden, students aged 10 to 15 can't use their phones in class. Help me with the number 5.
A school in the UK create a policy that bans students from having best friends.
So in the reduced form is?
Created. Correct. Great.
What is the relative pronoun in that one?
Oh, sorry. A school in the UK has created a policy that banned. Banned.
Past participle.
Bans is participle.
No, that's my question. Do we need to use past participle or gerund? Is it present?
Okay. A school in the UK has created a policy banning students for having best friends.
Exactly, because the verb is in present, it is spelled in the third person form. We need to use present participle, banning, which in other words is gerund. And this word is pronounced created, because we have the T as in tango, we pronounce E, created. Let's go this way. Number 6. What do you believe?
There's a rule in some schools in Australia and the UK. State that students' papers should be graded using green ink.
So for sure, the verb is states, but is this a present or past? Do we need a past participle or do we need present participle?
That is present.
So if we reduce, what's the form?
State.
What do we do in present?
Me perdí. Stating.
Yes, exactly. In
Pero
present.
¿Ese verbo se puede hacer con gerundio?
For sure, yes. Stating that the students' papers should be graded using green ink. Give your opinion on each rule using a common clause. Example, at one school in the US, the students skipping classes aren't punished, which is a terrible idea because, etc., etc., etc. Select one rule and make a comment on that one. Remember that you can talk about the students skipping classes, you can talk about the parent hit by a ball, you can talk about many students attending high school, the rule that we read about Sweden, you can talk about the rule banning students from having best friends, you can talk about the rules in Australia. Create a comment. For example, you can say, which is a good idea because, which means that, which makes a lot, or which makes no sense because, which explains why, or which makes me wonder if.
So, sorry, teacher. We have to choose just one?
The rule that you want. You select the rule that you want and create a comment. These are examples of comments. Select a rule and create a comment.
Okay, and at one school in Cucuta, students can't use cell phones because they are punished, which
Okay, so students using cell phones are punished.
Yeah.
Which
which is a terrible idea because to me it is a learning tool.
okay, because cell phones are learning tools.
Yeah.
Great. Please select a rule and create a comment on that one.
Many students attending high school in Colombia have to wear uniforms, which make a lot of sense because that help to recognize the institution.
That helps to
Helps to
recognize the
recognize.
introduction. Okay. So select a rule, please, and create a comment.
A school in the UK has created a policy banning students from having best friends, which is a terrible idea because they don't have the power and the permission to do that to the children.
Yes, exactly. Banning social interaction is something impossible. We are
It's
social
something
beings.
like tyrannic. I
And
don't know.
crazy. That
Yeah, it's
sounds really
crazy.
crazy. Yeah, exactly, just like that. All right, well, my friends, we already covered the first topic. We already discussed the relative clauses, defining and non-defining. We practiced with different relative pronouns. We changed or modified sentences, including clauses. And we also created comments on the different rules. So in general, I believe that you got the idea. Let me jump now to the second part or the second topic.